All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pageant Sit Down. My name is Regina Elena, and I am super excited for all of you being with us today. And I am joined, of course, with my co-host, Elizabeth. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Regine. How's it going?
It's going great. I love your sweater. I'm low-key jelly, but it's so pretty.
Thank you. Yes, we have 10 days to go till Canadian National Miss, so I'm stressed, but I'm excited to chat some fun Galaxy stuff because it's happening the same, they have the finals the same day, so everything in Pageant Land's happening right now, so I'm excited.
It is. That's true. And speaking of Galaxy International, so Elizabeth and I both have had the amazing opportunity to both represent Canada and for myself, Southern Canada, at Galaxy Internationals. And we actually have someone also representing her country. Liz, would you like to introduce our guest?
Absolutely. Everyone, please welcome Aryana Neo, your Mrs. Galaxy England.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
It's great.
Thank you for joining us. I mean, I haven't seen you since you just had your regional title, and then you manifested on our show and won Mrs. Galaxy UK, and you've had an amazing journey so far. I've had the privilege of getting to know you throughout the last couple of years, but I'm sure some of our guests don't know who you are or not familiar with you. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So as Liz said, I'm Aryana Neo. I'm actually representing England this time at Galaxy Internationals because I placed third runner-up last year, and I feel like, my dream isn't over. You've got to go for it still. So I'm going back. We fly on Monday. I'm so excited. And yes, I'm just really honoured to be still a part of the Galaxy sisterhood. And of course, meeting you, Regine, was amazing as well. And learning that dance, which that song is still in my head to this day. That song is still in my head. But yes, I've been in the Galaxy system for about 6-7 years now. Not looked back. Still going for my goal. And what I do is I'm a radio and television presenter. I also work in trademark law and part qualified attorney. So they're my two professions, and I try to bring those together. Also within my hobby of pageants, which has become more of a life project and taken over more than like as a hobby, I guess. So it's more than a hobby to me. It's definitely in my blood, and it's a goal that I'm trying to achieve. So yes, that's me.
It's not a hobby, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, there you go.
I love it.
Well, I just want to say you have been such an amazing sister queen. I had the best time with you at Texas last year. I can't believe it's already been a year. And I'm not going to lie, I was so close to signing up and coming back. And then I saw that you were coming back, that South Africa was coming. I'm like, I can't do it again. I cannot be with them again. No, I'm kidding.
You don't miss the pressure.
I do miss the pressure, but I'm actually so sad that I'm not a part of it this year because there's so many coming back from our year that I'm like, man, it would have been the perfect time to come back.
I know, and it's strange because I feel like I know it was a year ago, but I also feel like we've just been. So it's a weird feeling, but I'm so excited. I've never been to Florida before, so it's going to be amazing.
I'm so excited for you. But can we just for a quick second talk about your farewell at Galaxy UK? Please and thank you. That was epic.
Please and thank you. Thank you so much. I didn't really know how it was going to go down. I didn't know what people would, or how people would take it. I just knew I wanted to hand over as UK, be recrowned England, and burst on stage with some Indian doll drummers, which, I do at all of my Bollywood beautiful events as well, my charity events. So wherever I go, the drums will follow.
Are they coming to Orlando?
They're not coming to Orlando, no. But we have to manifest in the future. The ideas I have, it's just amazing.
I think when I was watching it, I was blown away. I was like, there is no way this girl did what she just did. And you did.
Oh, thank you so much. Honestly, I didn't know how people would take it, but when people came up to me afterwards, a lot of people were crying because I think the drums can kind of ignite something, can ignite emotions. Someone said it reminded them of their mum, and different things were coming up. And I'm glad it went well because really I didn't know how it would be. And I love that Shahar, I saw her on the judging panel and I had to grab her up because I thought, I knew she could crack out some Indian Bollywood moves. So
Right.
Hope so. I mean, that was iconic, just having the reigning Mrs. Galaxy there from India, and then you being there and representing your country and your culture as well. It's just, to me, it was just beautiful. I'm like, man, I even told Cindy, I'm like, can I come back? And then when I do my farewell, like, I'm gonna bring out Tanickling, and then I'm do it in big.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, it's good, and I think because I'm now representing England as well, it's a big deal in a way, because there's a bit of a connotation with like the England flag. When it comes to, people of colour, especially in England. So to be able to represent the England flag, change my perceptions and other people's perceptions of that flag, and also burst on stage as Mrs. Galaxy England being recrowned, and Danny crowning me, which was amazing because she's been there for both my crownings in Galaxy. And it was an amazing moment, and I'm just glad everyone enjoyed themselves.
Yeah, it was definitely a moment. There's something about a good Galaxy farewell. There's been a couple in the past that are really they're iconic, so that definitely goes in the book of one of them. But I was really curious because I know you and Regine are close, but I haven't got to know you that well, but I've definitely followed your journey. I was curious, what inspired you to get back into Galaxy and to take this England title? What was it that made you want to go back?
To be honest, I felt unfinished. I feel my journey isn't over. Last year, I'll be honest, my head probably wasn't in the right place. And when I look back, it makes perfect sense. I wasn't ready. The right person won. And it made me reevaluate myself, and it's made me work harder, and it makes me hungrier for what I want. 2 weeks before I had flown out to Texas, we just moved into this house. We were eating pizza on the floor, so we were not Galaxy dieting at all. It was very stressful. Our house completed a lot later than it should have, and I think it just was a bit overwhelming, and I wasn't ready. And in a way, I feel like it wasn't wasted, of course, because I met amazing people. You learn every time, and I love that I went to Texas. I love watching two of my sister queens, Mia and Danny, also win, which was incredible. And to come back now, I wasn't first runner-up, I was third runner-up, but I feel like I've got more to prove, and I am really hungry for this. And you can't tell people to give up on their dreams, so that's why I'm back.
No, it's true. And like you said, you've been in Galaxy for 6 years. You've had different titles along the way. What does it mean to you to now have it be England and not UK?
Do you know what? As Mrs. Galaxy UK, obviously that was amazing. I had that winning moment, and it was just so incredible. And because we had lockdown and stuff as well in between as finalists, my whole thing with my platform was to promote diversity and to celebrate culture, which it still is. However, I think, especially in England, we have transformed a lot now, and in the whole of the UK, and people do talk about it more. Like pageants, I'm not going to say I did it first, but what I'm going to say is, as in the beginning when I was doing, podcasts talking about diversity, people were shy to talk about diversity. People didn't want to talk about their cultures because, as I was when I was growing up, there's a little bit of embarrassment, shame. I don't know what it is when you're growing up and you're in a different heritage in a predominantly English Caucasian country, wherever that is in the world, whether it's not English, but a white country. And for me, it was a difficult thing and a barrier to overcome throughout my life. So looking at myself, I thought to myself, I need to embrace my culture. And something just clicked. When I joined Galaxy, it was almost like you feel you're at home, you feel you can be yourself. They really say it's a sisterhood, and it really is. I'm telling you, it is. I wouldn't be in it this long if it wasn't. And so that's kind of how I developed. And so being UK was amazing, taking that baby of mine for Pageant Community Radio and Culture Queens that I did, and really developing that and learning people's cultures, but also making them want to speak up about their cultures. Now, I know that I've had a part to play in a lot of young girls that have joined Galaxy and other systems because they messaged me and they've asked me. So I have that kind of nice feeling that I've helped, some more South Asian girls or people of colour get into pageantry. Now, obviously representing England, I do still think it has a little bit of work. I know UK is bigger, but United Kingdom is a very diverse country, with all the countries involved. Whereas with England, there is still a bit of connotations. There is still work to do, like I said, with the England flag. And so now I'm going to be proudly waving that flag around. And, I'm really, really honoured to be able to go back as England, and I have to embrace the fact that I was born in England. So, we have a British Asian woman. I was the first to win Mrs. Galaxy UK. I would love to be Mrs. Galaxy England, be the first to win Mrs. Galaxy. We can only hope.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So how do you feel? First off, that's beautiful. I mean, I'm huge on promoting diversity and inclusion as well. And I love what you stand for. And I know that Galaxy UK has grown a lot in different ways. So I love that all these little girls are also reaching out to you to be like, hey, I see myself in you. Introduce me to Galaxy or tell me more. But what I was curious about is, so I mentioned it earlier, there's a lot of the 2022 misses coming back. How do you feel? How does that make you feel?
Oh, this is like a double-edged thing here, because I really get on with, the people that are coming back. Rafil is amazing, Autumn's amazing, Sandel's amazing. I'm sure I've missed somebody here, but there's some amazing people, and I'm actually really excited to see them again, because it's almost less nerve-wracking, because you already have worldwide global friends, which is amazing. You should have come back, Regine, but what can I say? So it's amazing, but also
you scared me. No, I'm kidding.
Oh God. But I also think there is, obviously, you are in a competition, so I'm not going to lie and say it doesn't go through your head. Obviously, they've got the same advantage I had in the fact that we've experienced it together. But Galaxy is different, I think, each time, because there's always new people. Yes, the pageant may be similar, and you know what to expect, and the white party, which is amazing, and the PJ party and things like that. But every experience is going to be different because you're with different people. So I'm really excited to see some of them, and I've spoken to them already. So we are going to get loads of pictures and things like that. But then I guess we're all going to go into competition mode on the day. We just got to support each other, because I always say this to some of the younger girls, but when you've got judges, and I have judged pageants, but if you're enjoying yourself, they don't know. It's not gonna be a disadvantage to you if you're getting on with your co-contestant. It doesn't make any sense. So it's better to embrace everyone and just have a good time. And it's gonna be my last pageant, so I'm gonna enjoy it.
Wow. Well, that's sad.
Yeah,
but it's a good way to go. It's a good way to go.
I said it last year. It was my last pageant. And then my husband was really annoyed because I said, I've got to do it. I've got to go back because, sorry, there's a fur in my face. Got to go back. I can't wait another year. Like, I'm itching. I need to go back and finish my dream. And so that's why I'm back. But then, maybe in the future, maybe in 5 years' time, I don't know. I'm not going to say never, but right now, this is my goal. I want to do this. And then we will see what happens. Also, he wants babies in maybe like 3 years, 4 years.
There you go. You'll have a new generation of pageant.
The pressure when you're a missus, everyone asks.
Oh my gosh. You've had. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say. I mean, Denise is Mrs. Northern.
Oh yeah.
Mrs. Galaxy Northern Canada. She's pregnant. She's gonna be walking on that stage. Baby bump first. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I love that.
Denise always has a kid around Galaxy time. She had a kid just before she won like her national title, and that woman's crazy, but we love her.
I'm gonna have to ask her questions for like later on in life, because I don't feel ready yet, because I feel like obviously Galaxy's my baby. So once I've done this, then we'll
it's true. She's great to talk to. I mean, she has definitely gone through a lot, and like Liz said, when we interviewed Denise on the sit down with Scott Gion Brown, she had mentioned how, because she is in a Mrs. division, it was her first Mrs. pageant. She was really nervous, but she loves that it has that, like, it comes full circle for her with her family, right? Like, she had her firstborn, and then I think she was about 4 months postpartum, and she competed at nationals, and then now she's due in a month or two, and she's going to be at internationals. So it's crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's all about the journey though, because she's been on this a long time too, but so have you. I've seen tons of your appearances. I saw that you were emceeing other pageants like IJM UK, which is new, which is super cool. What was one of your favorite appearances that you've done so far?
Oh God, there's so many. I have a favorite, but it's also the scariest one I did because I abseiled down one of the tallest buildings in the UK, which is called the Spinnaker Tower in Portsmouth. And I thought, oh, this is a great idea. Let's do that for charity. Not a great idea. you get suspended down, you go all the way up, and then they leave you. You're left. And then by the time you're in the middle, you can't go up, obviously. And all you feel, it was very windy that day as well, which is really annoying. But all you feel is you're leaning back and you feel that there's nothing behind you and you feel like you could fall. Now you can't, you have to thread yourself down. I'm looking up thinking he's not even looking. So if I fell, I don't know what's going on. And I just had to go down. Apparently I was the slowest and I took 12 minutes. So, but the amount we raised for the Cancer Christie charity was amazing. It's such a good charity, one of the biggest Christie Cancer charity in the UK, and as Pageant girl, which is what Galaxy's part of here. Sorry if you knew that. We've raised nearly over £500,000, I think. So to be a small part of that is amazing.
Fantastic.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I did that, I'd still be hanging upside down. So.
It's scary. And you watch people get off, and I was absolutely shaking when I got off. I know it's a good cause and all that, but I didn't quite anticipate how scary it would be. But yeah, I've had loads of amazing. I'm really lucky. People around here love to do appearances. I have my Bollywood Beautiful events where I always try and hit £1,000, and I just love to also get people to embrace my culture, so they all come dressed up if they want to, which is amazing. And then I did drag my husband to a fire walk once, so he did do that with me.
Fire walk?
Yes, you walk over fire like hot coals.
That's
wow.
Oh, how was that?
I'm like explaining to you what fire.
It's like, no, I know what that is. How was it?
Yeah, no, do you know what? It's actually not. It was really exhilarating because they like pump you up and you got music. And I think where you stand on maybe like the dewy grass, I think you walk and you're over and you're done quick. I think I did it twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
You did it for us.
Give it a go.
Yeah. Well, we can also talk a bit about internationals, I guess, because you've already experienced it. But you experienced it in Texas. When I competed, it was in Orlando. I believe it's a different hotel this year, but I had a really, really fun time in Florida. What are you most looking forward to? Because it's going to feel a bit different, probably a little bit more humid than Texas, even though Texas is really hot. But really what are you looking forward to for Florida?
There's so many things I'm looking forward to, because I think I'm not really going to get to see Florida, which is such a shame.
Right.
Because it's always happened. Go somewhere. Yeah. Didn't really see any of it. I think I'm looking forward to it. I really enjoyed the opening dance last year, as I said before. Yes. It's still in my head. So I'm really excited to see, obviously, the choreographer again and see what we're doing this time. Meeting everyone is amazing. The white party. There's so many things. I don't think you can pinpoint, because each thing is almost better than the last, and almost they're all like the same. PJ party, of course. And then actually being on stage. I do love that. I do love that. And just manifesting and hoping for other things that I can experience. So.
Right. Yeah.
I'm excited to see what you end up wearing, because you always have such colorful outfits, such vibrant and like very fashion forward. So I cannot wait to see what comes out of your closet this time.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I would share, but I'm not going to. So
I wouldn't either.
We'll wait and see.
I mean, last year, though, to be fair, I wasn't overwhelmed with as I wasn't in the game in my head. I wasn't in a mindset. So I don't think I was happy with my wardrobe. I did have a very stunning gown from the dress studio, which is our UK director's dress shop. Absolutely amazing, Sherry Hill. You can't go wrong with Sherry Hill. But some other things I wasn't really happy with, So this year I'm happy with everything. I feel confident. I'm buzzing to wear it on stage, and just give it a go. And I love the new formation on stage. So we're gonna have to. I'm just excited.
I can't wait. I just realized, so last year, because you were UK, you were towards the end. You weren't last, but you were towards the end. This time you're in the beginning.
Yeah, I think I'm like 5th.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's better or not, because you don't have to wait as long, but then you kind of everyone's in the same, aren't they? Because by the time you go, you've got to get dressed. So yeah, it's exciting. Fingers crossed for England. I don't know, it's a good spot.
Yes.
That's so fun. I am seriously so excited for you. I can't wait to watch. I believe your pageant is on the Saturday, so the 26th. So I will be with Liz at her pageant. We'll be in our hotel room watching.
Oh my goodness.
We'll get some pizza and live stream it.
Yeah. So, and your pageant is in, whereabouts is that? Is it in
It's in near Toronto area. So
really?
yeah, it's a brand new pageant that I am directing. So I'm excited, but we're going to be having our hearts with the Galaxy girls because we're very much connected with all of those ladies over there.
Because we are Galaxy girls.
Yeah,
you are forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it ever leaves you.
That's the thing, the whole sister thing, and even in the UK, it's very strong with the whole pageant girl like brand. There's a lot of different pageants under that umbrella. Do you feel like that's impacted your journey by having so many great women around you to help you prepare or like go through the competition process with?
Oh, 100%. And I think, Holly does it so well. Like the pageants that she has, you can see the growth in so many girls, especially the young girls. Some pageants are for newbies, and, you can see their confidence building, and it's really, really amazing. And I think some people come up to me and they say, you're really confident. But I think that, it comes with experience and age. I don't think it's, I wasn't always confident. You can't just become confident. I think it really comes from when you're happy with yourself and you are sure of yourself. And I think by the time you get to my age, you're just like, well, you take it or leave it. Do you know what I mean? This is what you're getting. That's it. So yeah, I do love all the women that I've met along the way, women worldwide that are so supportive of me. It's so heartwarming, and there is a bit of pressure because I feel like I want to do everyone proud, but then we've got to remember, guys, this is a hobby. This is for some people, not for everyone. Some people have made great careers out of this. But for me, it's a lifestyle now. So
yeah, it is. So I feel like every country needs a Holly. So Holly, for those who don't know, is the national director that we've been talking about. If we had more Hollies in the pageant world, in Canada, let's just say, for example, in Canada, if we had Holly in Canada, pageantry would be better, for one, and more well-known than it is now.
Yeah, she is amazing. She's she's a really good support as well. She probably thought she was going to get rid of me last year and then come back. So sorry, Holly.
Surprise!
Surprise!
Well, actually, we are already at the halfway point, which is crazy to see. But we do have a tradition on the show, as you know, which is 5 tips from a beauty queen. And so I know you've given yours previously, but I want to know, what are your new pageant tips for everyone watching today?
New pageant tips? Well, I came prepared because I knew this. I watched the others and I thought, oh, goodness. So my first pageant tip, and I'm not sure if I said this before, but I really say this to anyone that asks me for any advice: do your research on the pageant. Like, really do your research, because there's people that have come up to me and say, oh, I didn't know this, or I didn't know you got this many points, but you need to do your research, because if you don't know, you're kind of going in it a bit half-hearted. And I think you should know the ethos, the vision of the pageant. Do you align with that pageant? Like, do you really feel like, yes, I'm part of that pageant, and we're like sisters, like we feel in Galaxy? And obviously Galaxy does something right because so many people want to be a part of it. So my first tip is do your research. That's like on past queens, current queens, the pageant itself. I think it's really, really key and important. Second tip, you've got to work hard. And when I say work hard, I don't just mean loads of appearances and stuff like that. Obviously the UK are quite they're guilty of this, because a lot of the UK people, they do a lot of appearances, but I think they need to be meaningful. They need to be you can just drop off things, and you can, obviously donations are great for charity stuff, but what are you standing for? Like, what do you mean to be doing here? And what charities are you affiliated with? And I really think it helps to grow that. And sometimes you do have to go through pageants and different things to understand where you align. So it's not you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to know straight off the bat. But I think definitely work hard. And if you say you're going to do something, do it. Don't say it and then not do it, because I hate that when you see someone, they said all these plans and then they don't do it, and you think, well, never know. But anyway, we won't be negative. On pageant week, take a sewing kit, a little first aid kit. I think I definitely needed plasters, and yeah, sewing kit, safety pins, all of that. Not even just for yourself, because somebody else might need it. They might need it. Something's popped off their dress, and I just think it's nice to, you know, be a team at some point. We are in competition, but you know, we are also women, girls, all fighting to be, you know, empowered and just be seen and heard. So, you know, why don't we help each other? And then my other one is don't compare yourself. Now, I know that's quite hard because everyone compares themselves. Crystal, KV and Chahar, who's Mrs. Galaxy at the moment, did a live earlier. And they were saying, you know, look how different they are as Mrs. Galaxies. They're very different ages, different backgrounds, different items of clothing they wore on stage to win, different charities and things like that, and different ethoses of why they wanted to be Mrs. Galaxy. And it's so true. I think you can't compare yourself. Yes, you can get into a hole and you can look at pictures and you can think, oh my goodness, doesn't she look amazing? I need to get back in the gym or something like that. But, you know, just don't compare yourself. You are you. What makes you different is actually what makes you unique. And everyone says that all the time, but it's so true because, you know, when I was younger, I was very guilty of comparing myself a lot because I faced a lot of racism and had to go through a lot of, you know, transformative stages and realize who I was. Then once you come out and you're like a butterfly, and then you're like, well, these are my wings and this is what I look like. So you can't compare yourself at all. It is hard, especially for the younger girls. I do see it across pageantry, but it also gives them a thicker skin. So, you know, because it happens in every industry, not just pageantry. They are my top tips.
Awesome. Here, Liz and I are like holding ourselves back. Like, yes,
We're like, yes, very good. Very much agree.
Did I pass?
Yes,
oh
it was
awesome.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I particularly love your appearance tip because I think it's so important that people do appearances that are like connect with them and like really add value to their experience, because I'm a firm believer that you don't pay for the pageant for the week, but you pay for the whole journey. And I think it's super important, and I think it's a great way to like talk an interview. You need to have talking points and things that to convey to them of like why you should win. So I wanted to know, like, what were some of the stuff in interview that you really want the judges to know about you or really want to convey to the panel?
For me, it really is, you know, what I've done being Mrs. Galaxy UK and Mrs. England. Of course, why I've come back. Like, why have you come back? Of course.
Right.
I think obviously not just the obvious, but obviously things that are in my heart and why I want to be a Galaxy International Queen, and also what I can do and what I'm going to do. Obviously, I have a plan. And going back to the appearance thing, just very quickly, it's taken me 4 years with a specific charity in my hometown to actually be affiliated with them. So it's not necessarily a quick thing. You know, some people have charities that they can be partners with and things like that. But I'm lucky enough, you know, I'm a non-executive director for a board, and I've got leadership qualities in different areas. So I've had more interactions in that way. Now, some charities may not understand pageants and they might think, oh, how are we going to be linked here? Right. But the Southampton Hospital in my hometown is one of the best paediatric hospitals in the UK. So to actually be partnered with them and do good for them, all of my Bollywood Beautiful events raise money for them. And I was really lucky because they came to the event and did a speech. It was just so nice to know where your funds are actually going.
Right.
Yeah. I think is really important. And then Heather Hopkins, who's actually another Galaxy finalist, another Galaxy girl. She went to internationals before, and she actually works for Ronald McDonald Charities, which is linked to them as well. And she's doing a massive pageant volunteer thing. And I was lucky enough to be able to be the first pageant volunteer and ambassador for them. So again, it does take time. It doesn't always land on your plate. I do get girls asking me, how do you get affiliated? It does take work, and I think you have to consistently show that you're going to do work. If you enter a pageant and then you change your platform or change your I think it can come across a bit wishy-washy. I'm not saying it's wrong, because everyone can do what they want, right? But I'm just saying from my personal experience, it does take time. So yes, that's not the question you asked me.
No, that's great.
I just thought I had to say that.
Yeah, super important.
No, it's a good point. Yeah. My question for you is, because I know I struggled with your last point of not comparing yourself to others. And it's very hard when you are sandwiched between South Africa and UK. So, what are some tips that you have for people who might also be struggling, you know, getting there, comparing themselves, and then that kind of falls into mindset at the pageant? What are some tips that you might have for people who are going through that or might linger into that danger zone?
I think I'm probably I'm very black and white in life. Okay, you know when you do these like work tests, I'm a red person. Okay, so that's my color. So for me, I am black and white. So it doesn't. You don't want to offend people, of course. You want to be connected with people always and be kind, always. But I will not go and search for my co-contestants. Obviously, I know who they are. Obviously, we're in the same groups and I comment on their things, they comment on mine. I will support their campaigns as they support mine, but I will not be going to their pictures and looking at, oh, what did they wear and what do they wear. That you can't do that. Like, that's something you really need to not do. If it's a mindset thing, don't do it. I'm not going to say I've never done it. Of course I've done it. I've been in pageants for like over 15 years, so of course I've done it. It's just I've learned, don't do that. Don't do it, because you're focusing also on them. So if you're focusing on somebody else, that energy, you should be focusing on yourself. So that tip, I would say, I wouldn't say, you know, I have heard people say, oh, they block them and stuff like that. I don't think you should do that, because they're part of your experience, and you know, you've got to make friends. Like, this is a Galaxy sisterhood. We're all Galaxy sisters. So you've got to get on with everyone and you've got to be kind. But I think everyone's in the same position. So, you know, everyone's supportive, but let's not be stalky. You know, stalk the queens. I just think don't go into your contestants, because you can then start unpicking yourself, unpicking people, and there's just no point. So that's a tip. And then another tip is probably that every single person, who was I with? North America, Autumn, but I don't know what she was then, but yeah, North America, and then obviously you were there, the gorgeous Regine. And you do have to think, you know, we're all different people, we're from different places, completely different accents, completely different life skills, upbringing, you know. And I think last time I was there in Texas, there was this thing of, my whole thing has always been about diversity, culture, and, you know, in England being the first British Asian. Then we had India, which kind of threw me off a bit, because I was like, well, she's actually Indian, and I'm like middle Indian. Well, I'm Indian, but I'm British Indian. So that kind of made me feel a bit like, oh, you know. But again, I shouldn't have done that, because everyone's beautiful in their own way. And actually, I've learned a lot from her just watching her reign, because Jihar has done exceptionally well, and massive shoes to fill for whoever wins. So but you can learn a lot from every person that you meet. So you might be chatting to them, Regina, and being like, oh, she's, you know, got nice hair, but you can't compare, because you've got amazing hair. If that was the example.
I mean, Aryana has a nice booty. I mean, I say that is something between her and I. Okay.
Now it's not.
In a group photo.
Now it's public.
It's public.
Oh my gosh.
But every time we would be in a group photo together, it's just like, oh, there it is. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
I'm hoping it's a little bit smaller this year, because I've lost a stone. I'm trying to lose a little bit more, not because you need to,
right?
For my own.
Girl, you don't need to.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. But I just wanted a little bit of lift and tightness, you know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you
see,
you never know what people are
famous
thinking.
behind, apparently.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And it's even interesting, like, because me and Regina will talk about, like, oh my god, we love your wardrobe, we love this and that, but we wouldn't know that you were feeling, you know, maybe a little bit insecure about your wardrobe, or you weren't that happy about it. You know, you never know what people are projecting when you're competing. And I love, like, not checking in on people, and like going and like searching when I'm competing, like against them. Regina's gonna laugh at this, because she calls me the pageant stalker.
I know you're lying.
But I know people before they compete with me. I just know them personally. But when you're competing, it's all about, you have to be in your own mind, because you don't know what they're doing to you. So yeah, no, I agree with that.
Stay in your lane. You've got to do it, because everyone's going on their own routes. But you just focus on what you're doing, because then your energy is in the right place. Yeah. And that was not me last year.
Right.
This year, I'm in my lane.
Love that. That's good.
Well, what have you done, I guess, to prepare for internationals the second time, knowing what you've gone through already?
I think I've definitely worked on, my partnerships in England, well, especially in Southampton, my hometown, with the charities. Super honoured to be, partnered with the hospital and now an ambassador for their charities. But this is something I want to do long term, and also within the BBC where I work with, and through other professions that I have. Like, I want this to be a long term thing. It's not just for while I'm competing, which I think people need to measure up when they're doing things. Are you doing this for the greater good, or are you doing this for your appearances, basically? So, but this is something I've worked on for years, and I'm so grateful to be a part of that. So definitely developed that. I think obviously worked on myself. My husband's become my PT. He's not a PT, but because we've got this little home gym, we now are working out all the time, which is great. And it's just nice to have, obviously, his support. I know it's a Mrs. Pageant and everyone's going to say that, but to have his support, he was annoyed. I'm not going to lie when I said I'm going back. Everybody knows this. I call him Mr. Galaxy anyway, which again, it doesn't necessarily like. But he will be pulled along this journey with me. But, he really is my rock when, I have my moments. I'm not gonna lie. Like, even earlier I was watching the live and seeing the crown, which looks a little bit bigger, I think they said, and it's just so shiny. Hearing like how amazing everything's going to be. But I welled up, but I'm thinking, why am I'm crying? But it's like happy tears, or I'm anxiety. I don't know what it is. Excitement. I'm like a happy bunny sometimes. So I think I don't even remember the question.
It's okay. We get it. You've been doing a lot of self-improving.
Yeah.
Yes.
And staying within your community during this journey.
Yeah.
Is your husband coming with you to Orlando this time?
We are we're going to say no for now. He potentially could have, but there was work issues and stuff like that. So as much as I would love him to be there, of course, but still thinking he might surprise me though, because I don't know, there's something going on.
You never know.
Something's happening.
But we'll just say no for now.
Yes, be safe.
We never know. If you're watching, hubby, you heard that. She wants you there.
Oh my God.
But I love what you said though, because it's true. I mean, in the Mrs. division, it's a whole other ballgame. There's so many women who are moms, who have their spouses, and then there's married women who just have their husbands or their significant others. How has it been for your husband? I think I asked you this before, but how has it been for your husband to be on this journey with you?
Wow. Well, I think for UK, he was there, and you can hear him in every video just going, wah! Like, his voice is so deep, and he was so happy. And well, I think Mia's partner James gave him a few beers as well, so I think he was very, very happy, which was great. And then I think him seeing me go to Mrs. England and knowing how much I want it, it's probably become a bit annoying for him because I'm literally constantly talking about pageants. I've got my outfits everywhere. I'm sewing. I'm doing this. We're going to charity events. We had my Bollywood Beautiful event actually in our garden because the last two times the venue, because I've not done it in the summer, although I say summer and we had torrential rain. We have not really had a summer here. Don't know if you've heard. The UK has not really had a summer. I don't know what's going on. It's obviously global warming. Come on, guys, we need to save this planet because it's changing. I want my summer back. But so we had it in our garden. So we had, oh goodness, it must be like 70 people in and out because people come at different times, all in the garden. Thank God my neighbour on the morning said, would you like our gazebo? I was like, yes, I would. So we had 3 gazebos going. It did rain a lot, but it didn't dampen our spirits. Like, everyone still donated. We smashed £1,100. Obviously, the charity came to speak, and he was so supportive. He manned the barbecue the whole time.
Yeah, good job.
He fed everyone in the rain. And yes, he's really, really supportive. And I couldn't ask for a better support. We're very different when it comes to, if you look at some pageant husbands are very involved. He's not that. He's more of a, I'll sit back, and he's more of a that kind of laid back husband. But yes, he's very supportive
behind the scenes.
Yes, but I need that because he's like my calm.
Mm-hmm.
He's like my calm because I'm a bit, oh, I've got all these things to do, and he's like, it's okay, you got this. I'm like, yes.
Yep.
I love that. awesome.
I just can't believe that was your backyard. When you said that, I saw the pictures. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh no, it looks horrible.
Over.
You should have seen it before we put the gazebos up, because it was, Andy had he mowed the lawn in lines. It looked amazing. And then the gazebos went up and there was just mud.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a soggy day, but it was a really beneficial day for the amount we raised. And yeah, I'm so thankful to everyone that donated.
That's great.
Awesome.
Perseverance.
Yes, we did it, come rain or shine.
Yeah.
But we would like some sun, just saying, because we've done
right. Fair enough.
Well, Aryana, I know that it is quite late there in England, and I know that, here in Ontario, it's only 7 o'clock in the afternoon or in the evening. But before we do wrap things up, do you have any last words that you'd like to share with our viewers?
I would actually just like to say thank you to everyone, because I've had so much support from people I don't even know, I've never met before, and it's truly like an honor, and I hope I can make you all proud, and it's just amazing. And I love to say on here as well, he's not watching, but thank you to my husband, because thank you for letting me go back, thank you for letting us move our holiday, spending money to move it so I could go to a different holiday. And just to everyone, honestly, and anyone that is thinking of entering Galaxy, do it, because you'll be like me. I'm 6 years later, I'm still here. You don't want to leave. It truly is a sisterhood, and my director is amazing. Holly is absolutely amazing, as everyone knows, but also Maria is so she has this like aura of her which is very powerful, respectful and like knowledgeable, but she is obviously the Galaxy. She is the Galaxy. So, she looks after her queens, and just seeing what she's doing for everyone. So definitely enter. That's what I wanted to say.
There you go. And so Aryana, if anyone wants to follow your journey, like you said, you're leaving the UK, you're leaving England in a few days. Where can people follow you online?
Yes, okay. I still do that as well. I'm like, UK, no, England, UK. Well, England is in the UK, it's okay.
Exactly.
So my actual pageant page on Instagram is Mrs. Galaxy England, surprise. So that's also linked to Facebook, which is Mrs. Galaxy England 2023. And then I have my presenter Instagram, but at the moment, and most of the time, there is a lot of pageant stuff going through as well. But that's Aryana Presenter if you want to see what I do presenting wise. But yeah, Aryana Neo and other things. There's a various amount of names here.
Perfect. Thank you. And Liz, where can people find you online?
For pageant stuff, you can find me at Miss Canada Captivating 2023 right now. That journey is coming to a fast close as well. Recently, I'll be on my Canadian National Miss page a lot, as the pageant is starting very, very soon. And for hair and makeup stuff, you can follow me at Elizabeth Marnock Artistry. And those are all my things. Follow me on Facebook too. That's kind of where everything's held. So that might be the easiest one. Yes. Yeah, so just at Elizabeth Marnock on Facebook too. But how about you, Regine?
You can find me here on this YouTube channel if you're enjoying this episode of the Pageant Sit Down, or if you like all things pageantry, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. We do go live every other week with amazing guests. Aryana, this is her second time here, and so subscribe if you haven't already. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at It's Regina Elena. And if you want to get some pageant coaching, you can find me at pageantcoaching.Regina Elena. And Regina Elena is spelled like this. Aryana, thank you so much for staying up late and for being with us. We are so grateful that you've made a pit stop here, and who knows, maybe just saying, you'll be bringing the international crown back on this show.
If I do, your first show. And I've got to say thank you to you ladies, because, thank you for even having me on, and thank you. You're doing amazing. I think I'm episode 111. Hello. Manifestation.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Perfect timing. Well, I'm really
You're welcome.
I'm
Thanks
so
for having me.
excited for you. I hope you have the absolute best time in
Mm-hmm.
Orlando. Like I used to say to all the UK girls, Canada is part of the Commonwealth, so we are all under one big
Yes.
We're all
group.
together.
We are rooting for all of you, as well as Team Canada,
Oh,
of course. So,
thank you so
best.
much. And I'm going to
best-
Canada after, but I'm going to
Ooh, when?
Montreal.
Montreal.
Ooh,
Yes.
Very
right after the
nice.
pageant, or
Have some poutine.
Oh yeah, I love poutine.
I think you're like Montreal's what, 4 hours
4.
away?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say like 20 minutes or something.
No.
Don't live that. It's Ottawa and Quebec and Ontario are right next to each other, but it's
Far.
Canada's
Ontario's
massive.
massive.
It's massive.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm there. I'm nearer you.
Sounds
you guys.
good.
Awesome. Well, everyone, thank you again for joining us this evening, tonight, depending on where in the world you are watching us. Again, Aryana, thank you so much for making a pit stop here before you go. And we look forward to seeing you maybe with your new crown, maybe not. We'll see.
Stop it,
And
guys!
we hope-
Giving me the jitters.
I know, that's what I'm
I've got to go to bed.
I know, sorry. But best of luck to you as well as all of the
Thank you.
other Mrs. Girls from 2022. Can't wait to see you all kill it on stage. And to everyone else, we will see you all in 2 weeks. Bye!